Howdy. So let's talk about why this truck is actually better than what some of y'all think, and why it surprised me. So let's get into it. 2022 Chevy 3500, and she's got 40k miles on it. So currently, as y'all can tell, she's getting 11.4 miles per gallon, and that's with the trailer being empty. All right, let's start with the cons. So y'all can tell I'm on the side of the road right now, kind of just here watching the cows, cars pass by, and watching the sunset over there. But anyways, let's talk about the cons. So what is the number one killer on diesels nowadays? I think everybody knows the answer to that. So it's the emissions. That's what kills diesels nowadays. But so far on this truck, I guess Chevrolet and GM got it right on their part, because it does not regen throughout the night like the Ram and the Ford do. So this one, it actually like hold off on the regen until you start driving the truck. So it's a con having emissions, but I mean, it's a good part that they're not regening throughout the night. Let's talk about the next thing. So the engine right here, the L5P, obviously it's a great motor. It doesn't make the most power from factory versus the Ford or the Ram, but I mean, it's good in its own way. It does pretty decent with the 10-speed. I did find out though while towing, when she was loaded, if you have it in cruise control and you have it like set to 75 or something like that, for some reason she'll be in 6th gear, and then if you have it on cruise and she starts climbing the hill, it will skip from 6th, it'll go all the way to 10th, rather than consecutively going up. So instead of going to 7th, where it goes to 7th, it'll say screw 8, 9, and it just goes straight to 10. My guess is their fuel efficiency mode or something like that, where they try to cut down on miles, or they're trying to increase their miles per gallon. Now, and as y'all can tell, this one is a dually. It's a 3500, but it does not have the bed on it. Obviously, it's a cabin chassis, so this one's gonna have to get its own flatbed. But con number 2 that I noticed about the Chevy when towing. So if y'all don't know about the Chevys, Chevy has always had independent front suspension versus the solid axles like on the Ford or the Rams. But on the Chevy, the front end makes for a more comfortable driving. But for towing, for some reason, if you're going down the worst roads in America, which most of these potholes are Volkswagen-sized potholes, the suspension bottoms out. And the reason for that is the torsion keys and the bump stop. All right, so as y'all can tell here, this is stock height. Obviously, I'm on the side of the road, so here, let me show y'all real quick. Just so y'all can see, there's no weight on it, there's no load, just an empty trailer. But here's what I mean. Here's the torsion keys. There goes the bar. And y'all can see right there, that's pretty much running on the bump stop. That's without a load. So she's already riding on bump stop. All right, so the next thing with the Chevy that I think is a con, so it costs the most to make reliable. So if you wanted to make this truck reliable, it will cost you a lot more to get the lightweight treatment plan on it, and that's to get rid of the stuff that kills the diesels. That would include the stuff like your EGR, getting rid of the EGR, which forces exhaust recirculation back into the engine that's already been burnt, as well as getting rid of the SCR, the DPF, and the DEF system. So those are some of the cons I have. The other thing I forgot to mention is the exhaust brake. Now the exhaust brake on the Ford, it sucks, all right? It sucks as well. It's not the best. Ram has the best one. But as far as the Chevy I think just put a sticker there. Literally when you're going downhill with the load on a Chevy, it does not slow you down. It's just like you're riding your brakes the whole time. So you're wearing your trailer brakes, and then you're wearing the truck brakes. So the exhaust brake doesn't really do nothing. Even if you step on the brakes, which some people say it'll activate it, I feel, in my opinion, it did not do nothing. Did not make a difference. But enough about the cons. Let's go into the pros. What's the good thing about the Chevy? One more thing I forgot to mention, the face on these trucks kind of suck. They look ugly. The old one was better. All right, so the pro about this truck, we're back to the motor. So if y'all don't know about the L5P, this motor is a pretty decent motor. It's pretty stout. I mean, there is some issues with it that you can get around with, but from the factory, I think it's pretty decent, but it can be better. Now then, as far as comfortability, if you're gonna be driving this for daily driving or moderate towing, I'd say she does pretty well. It is a comfortable ride, so you wouldn't get tired in it if you go for long trips, especially over 8 hours. I can drive this thing for 8 hours and I'll be fine, and that's with a trailer and a load. Next thing, the 10-speed on it works good. I'd say the 10-speed is a badass transmission, but it is also a throwaway transmission from what has been said. They're only made to get up to 150,000 miles, so there's that in case y'all didn't know. But with that being, it's also not an Allison no more. It's just a Allison badge, but not an Allison transmission, in case y'all didn't know that. As far as anything else, like The Chevy is comfortable. It does ride nice. It is decent for moderate towing. The check engine light is on it right now, but obviously we know what the problem is on that. It's the emission stuff. And I'd say if you're going to use it to daily drive it, do some moderate towing, nothing too heavy, like maybe non-CDL, the Chevy is pretty decent. She might not be the best out of the three, but I mean, she has a little heart that could, in my opinion. See, the way I think of this truck, it's almost like Thomas the Train. So Thomas the Train, you know, it has a little heart that could. It's pretty much the Chevy. She has a little heart that could. Think about Ford and Dodge like the big boys, and then Chevy's behind them, but she has a little heart that could. So obviously for the amount of miles that it has, she's always been towing. She's usually always on. I'd say the Chevy's pretty decent. I mean, it hasn't left me on the side of the road. Obviously we're on the side of the road with the hood open. I'm pretty sure people passing me by are saying, man, look at that guy in the Chevy, he got left behind. But they probably don't know that I'm recording a video. But anyways, is the Chevy great for towing? I would say yes, in its own way. It's good in a moderate way if you're gonna do moderate towing. Not towing all the time, but I mean, hey, the new trucks nowadays, they all tend to fail. They got their pros and their cons. But with that said, so hopefully y'all enjoy some of the decent review. This is a truck that I use for hot shot, and I think it's better than what most people make it out to be. So this is my opinion on it. Don't take it for granted. You know, anybody could have an opinion on it. Maybe I got a good one out of the bunch. Maybe some of y'all are having problems with it. But for 40,000 miles, hard miles, she did those in 2 months. Pretty much 40,000 miles in 2 months. I would say the truck even surprised me. I thought it wasn't gonna make it past 5,000 miles. She surprised me. Made it past the first ram that broke down at 7,000. But yeah, hopefully this was a decent review of the Chevy for y'all. I mean, I could do better, but this is just me showing y'all. She's been all over the US, so she's seen hills, cold weather, hot, and she's still doing decent. But with that, hope y'all guys have a good one. Hope y'all stay safe, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. See ya.